Hello guys, I'm gonna deploy a CI/CD pipeline with Terraform. So I am starting with a main.terraform file, which is empty. I have an index.html file and a buildspec.yaml. I have a folder called website. So currently I'm on main.terraform. So before that, we need access keys. So how do you get your access keys? So probably when you do AWS configure, you can enter the access keys here. So I have mine already set up. So I'm going to skip this part. To check whether your AWS CLI configuration is working or not, you can do AWS EC2 describe instances. I'm going to use profile Santos and reason as US East 1. I should see no reservations or no any EC2 instances, which is as expected. So my profile Santos is set up. So first of all, I need a website. So my website is a simple file called index.html. It says hello from Genes. Okay, that's what it says. I'm going to close it. And now I'm going to add buildspec.yaml. So the buildspec YAML says what to do when the build trigger starts. So I'm going to start with version 0.2 artifacts files, and I'm going to give index.html. So this is my build spec YAML. I could also install phases here. Phases could be like deploy. Installing the node package module npm, or maybe you could do something with Maven or Gradle or anything. So it's basically just a bash script running over here. So for this demo, I'm just going to use index.html as my file. So all it's going to do is it's going to push the index.html as a build artifact. So I have main.tf. So in my main.terraform, the first thing I'm going to do is bring in the Terraform code. So required provider, I just need to install AWS. So first I need to do, I'm going to save it, Terraform init. So I just initialize the Terraform. So it will download AWS. See, it's finding ASICorp AWS. So while it's doing that, I'm also going to describe the provider. So my provider is AWS, and I'm going to use Santos as profile as I did it earlier over here. So I'm going to use US East 1 as my default region. So while it's initializing it, I also created a variable which is named bucket name. So the default value is TF Terraform CodePipeline Santos. So this is the name of bucket. So I am going to need another bucket, which is CodePipeline artifact bucket. This bucket is for the build, final build. It's going to host the static website, and this bucket will have private access control ACL, private ACL, and then it is going to hold the build artifacts. Maybe you don't want all the build artifacts to be public, so that's why I made the build artifacts in a different bucket. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a repository, code repository, just like we have GitHub. We can have a code repository inside AWS ecosystem, and I'm going to call it Terraform Santos. And so I'm going to make a role. So it is code pipeline role, and I'm going to name it as default TF code pipeline role. Also I'm gonna make another role. This is for code pipeline, and this is for code build. This is just a variable in the Terraform. So variable, I could make a new file called Terraform variable, and then I could load it from here as well. But for now, I'm using the default ones like this one. So VPC, where does this come from? So if you see VPC over here. So I do have a default VPC, so 1F in Singapore. So most probably when I'm going in North Virginia, I should get the 6b2 0676b2. Yeah, I get the 0676b2. This VPC, I'm gonna copy paste it over here. So after the VPC, I'm gonna need a bucket, which is artifact bucket. It's not the public bucket which hosts the static file, but so I'm gonna name var, which means variable.CodePipeline. So I've referred it here. So this is gonna be a private bucket. So next, I'm gonna make another bucket. Let's make another bucket. I'm gonna call it. It's the same type, right? AWS S3 bucket. It's the type of the resource, and the name of bucket is going to be CodePipeline bucket. And what it is going to have is bucket. So bucket equals to var dot bucket name, because this is the variable. Where's my variable? Bucket name. So this is the name of my bucket, and then I can have a policy. So policy is deprecated for now. Shows a cross line, but still I'm going to use it. So for the policy, I can give a policy. So this is strange, but trust me, this is a policy. So this person enforces Terraform to treat these things as a JSON document. So we have a version statement, and this could be anything. This is optional. I'm allowing all the resources for S3 get object, and the resource is S3 var.bucket name. Inside the ARN of the bucket, I'm going to allow all objects to all the resources. So this is made a public. This is the objects of the bucket are made public over here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make another configuration, AWS S3 bucket website configuration, so that this bucket over here, CodePipeline bucket, this bucket can publicly throw files, and also the routing rules over here. So the index document I've listed as index.html, and even the error document, since I only do have one, I also list it as index.html. So whenever I get a request at slash or the root, I am redirecting it to index.html. So the next thing I'm going to do over here is AWS CodeCommit repository example repo. I'm going to make a new CodeCommit repository inside the AWS ecosystem, and I'm going to name it as var.repo name. So if you see the repo name is tfcp santosh. So this is the repository name. So one more thing, I'm going to do AWS IAM role, CodePipeline role. So I made the role, I just made the role, and I put the inline policy over here. So what it's gonna do is everything related to CodePipeline, I can assume the role. So I just made the role over here. So now I'm gonna define the policy for CodePipeline role. So let me define it. So AWS IAM role, CodeBuild role, var.CodeBuild role. This comes, I've predefined it over here. So assume role policy. So this is the policy. STS assume role. This is for the code build, whereas the previous one is for code build. I just made the roles. So this policy just says assume the role. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say allow something, disallow something. It just says assume role. It just says assume role. So the actual policy. So let me build the actual policy. So here's the actual policy. So what this policy is doing is, so it's let's check at the first statement. It allows log group, log stream, and put log events on all the resources. So the second one is doing it needs describe network interface. It needs delete network interface. All these permissions I'm gonna allow all these actions. So the next one is it allows create network interface permission and delete network interface permission. So if you don't add this delete network interface permission whenever you do Terraform destroy, so you will not be able to delete the network interface. So this is necessary thing. So resource for the all the network interface, I could create network interface and delete the network interface for these inside this ARN. So condition string equals. So this is my subnet. I copied the subnet ARN. So if you see a subnet, it should be 982.021.982. Bucket. So here's one stage, and I named it as source. And this the owner is AWS and the provider is Codecommit. So I named it as version 1 and output artifacts SRC. So if you go in the code pipeline artifact bucket, you will see a folder SRC. So inside SRC, you'll see a folder example pipeline, and inside example pipeline you'll see the artifacts in the SRC folder. So I have a configuration here. Repository name is var.repo_name. So this repo name I have created, I have used this one. And where is this used? This is used inside Codecommit repository. So the branch name I have put master. So there's one more stage which is known as build. So I named the for the action I named it code build, and the category is build. Owner is AWS, provider is code build. So if you see the provider was Codecommit. So in this build stage, the provider is code build. So input artifacts is SRC, because this is the output artifact, and whatever this outputs, so this is gonna take it. So version I put it 1 for no reason. Output artifact, so build output. This is the name of the folder where it's gonna put inside the artifact store, which is code pipeline artifact bucket. So configuration, it's just the name of the project, CFC project. So actually I named it this way, but there isn't any I could actually decouple it into variable at the top, but the best practice is I have to define the project first, right? Build for the build. So I'll do it in a while. So leaving this aside, I have another stage called deploy. So I named it S3 deploy. Category is deploy AWS on S3. Input artifacts is build output, because I'm gonna take whatever the build stage builds. Maybe it's gonna install Maven, Gradle dependencies. It's gonna install Node modules and all those stuff. And maybe it's gonna export some build files. Whatever it builds, I take this as input in the next stage called deploy. So this is my code pipeline infrastructure's code. So let's actually build the uh, code build project, because I have named code build project as CFC project. So actually I'm going to build it right now. So AWS code build projects, I'm going to name CFC project, name CFC project. It shows CFC project here, but what I could do is, instead of this, I could do this thing dot this thing dot name. So this is the same thing, right? So I could do this as well, but for now let's do this. So I've written the description. I have set 5 minutes as timeout, and service role is code build role. So code build role, I've given the service role here, and you could see I've given the role here as code pipeline role. So I've made the role. So this role assumes this policy. STS assume role assumes these policy document. So here are two policy and two roles. So the role is assuming the policy. So if I go down here, so I've made the code build project. Now let's create the output. So output is going to be AWS S3 bucket website configuration. So this is the website configuration. .website endpoint. You can also try autocomplete .website endpoint. So let me save it. So I have written the infrastructure, which is like 467 lines of code, but since I had previously done it, I just copied it from another window. So I have these infrastructure as code. So let's see. I've initialized the Terraform. After initializing the Terraform, you can see the Terraform this provider has been downloaded. So let me init again. This initialization is because maybe I have used some dependency, maybe they need to be downloaded. So let me initialize it again. So I've used the provider AWS. So let me check whether the infrastructure has already been spawned. In the US East one, I'm going to check a TFCP Santosh bucket. So let's go to S3. I'm going to buckets, and if there's nothing called TFCP Santosh, so I'm going to do Terraform format. So it formatted main.terraform. So what format does is, maybe I have some unformatted code, and if I do it, so it will put this in place. So let's do Terraform apply. Terraform command not found. Oh my god. Terraform. Okay, I misspelled it. So Terraform apply. So what it's gonna do is, it plants it first and then tells me with so these resources will be added, these resources will be modified. So since these resources aren't present, the plus means create everything. It's gonna create all those things. So let me type yes to apply these terraforming. So what it's doing is, it's creating a Codecommit repository. It's creating a role. It's created a role for code pipeline and code build. It's created an artifact bucket. So now most probably if I refresh it, I should probably see these two buckets are made ready for me. So code pipeline, inside code pipeline, I am expecting one code pipeline in here, example pipeline. So it's apply complete resources, 10 resources has been added for me. So every time if I have to change something, for example, instead of this example pipeline name, so pipelines, if I modify it as pipelines, so I'm gonna Terraform apply again. So let's see what happens. So it's checking, it's refreshing the state, for those infrastructures which are not changed. So what it does is this tilde sign with blue tilde means it's modify, most probably, if I see here, and plus minus is destroy and then create. It destroys code pipeline and creates it for me, and it modifies this for me. So I'm gonna do yes. So if I refresh it, it's being deleted, and I should see code pipelines, the added S. So this is how changes in the infrastructure will reflect. So since I already have a pipeline, so let's push the, so I have a pipeline. Let's see what has happened inside here. It failed because invalid action configuration. The AWS CodeCommit branch master doesn't exist. That's right, because in our code commit we don't have any of the master branch. So how I'm going to do it? So this is my repository that I've created. So I'm going to clone SSH. I'm going to go inside the website, cd website. If I see I have build spec and index.html, so I'm going to initialize a git repo, git add dot git commit initial commit for build trigger. Let's do this as a commit, and then so I do not I just initialize it. I shouldn't have any remote origin. Git remote. Let's see if I do have anything. So git code commit. Okay, I do have. So git. So let's do rm-rf.git. Since the code commit for so I just removed the git settings if there was some still git stuff. So let me git initialize, let me add it, and then let me commit. So I just committed. Now if I see if I do have any remote, there is no any remote repository. So I'm gonna clone ssh. So git remote add origin. So this thing. So if I try to git push origin main, it shouldn't allow me. Are you sure you want to continue? Let's try. Can't be established. Okay, even if I give my password. there is no file. Now if I refresh it, I should probably see some file with build spec and the index.html. So it's done it. So let's see the code pipeline. There should be one more code pipeline, not in the Singapore region, but in the US East 1 region. So there should be email pipelines, example pipelines. So it failed. It hopefully, as soon as it senses there's been a trigger on the code commit, it should have run it. It should have triggered. I don't know why it is delaying. It should have triggered it, right? 7 minutes ago. Branch name master. If this is the repository name, it should have triggered it. I don't know why it didn't trigger it. It should have triggered it. It didn't trigger it. Oh my god. It should have done it. So maybe let me release the change myself for now. Code commit in progress just now. History. It failed the previous time. So maybe it will succeed now. Failed. Invalid action. The action failed because no branch name master was found in the selected. Okay. So there should be something called master, right? In this repository. Oh my god, I did it in the main, of course. I'm so dumb. So git checkout -b master. I switched it to new branch master. Git push origin to the master. So I pushed it again. So I pushed it to the master, and now hopefully it should trigger on its own. So it failed previously, but since it's the main branch, if I refresh it, I should see a master branch here as well. Please, yes, I can see the master branch, and hopefully this should trigger as well. This didn't trigger. Oh, retried. I did it manually. We have wasted my time. It should probably show hello from Genesis. Yeah, it shows. So next time, hello from Genesis solution. So I just git add commit next trigger. I can't add it because it's not a git repo. Just cd website git add git commit another trigger git push agent main. Oh my god, I'm used to with main. Just use the master thing. What? So it's pushed it to the master. Hopefully this time I don't have to. So if I refresh this, Control Shift R, it's still hello from Genesis. But if you see the code pipelines, most probably it succeeded in the previous build. But I hope it will trigger on its own. I don't have to manually trigger it. So if I see Codecommit, I can already see it, but I have no idea why this succeeded, and maybe I should wait a little while. History, initial commit. So actually, this one thing is for the initial commit happened 2 minutes ago, and this is when I manually build it. So it's built 2 times. So you can also see in the bucket. Where's the bucket? S3, this one. So you could see here clearly there are two builds, because one happened triggered automatically, and one of them succeeded just now, another trigger, and it's another trigger is building, and this succeeded was for the previous trigger. So it's initial commit for the build trigger. This another trigger is still building over here. So it's running, it's building. Previously it was hello from Genesis. If you see it here, it's still hello from Genesis, but as soon as the build ends, build is taking time. I don't know why. So let's see the details, where it's stock phase details. So it's completed actually. Build logs, it succeeded. So pipelines. So it succeeded. So if I refresh this page, I see the updated thing, hello from Genesis solution. So with this Terraform codes, so I was able to so if the next time I need Angular build or React build, I just need to update my build spec YAML. So you can find code build spec YAML for React build. So let's do the first thing what I see. So yes, you just need to copy the build spec YAML and paste it over here. So it will use the public src package.json app spec YAML, and it will copy the scripts. So for now, this is enough. So what I've sold, what you can see in this demo is every time I update my code and I push it to the repository, you can see that my changes are reflected in the deployment. So maybe in the next thing I could add some CloudFront distribution. I could add some HTTPS, since this is not secure. So that's it. So if I have to remove everything, so I could do Terraform destroy. It's in the website master. So destroy completed, 0 resource deleted. So if I go to the a folder back, a directory back, so if I do terraform destroy, I made a typo. If I do terraform destroy, it's gonna eventually delete everything. So it's refreshing the state, it's deleting the policy, it's removing it one by one. So it says all these file marked as red, it will be gone. So if you see the Terraform state, let me do a no. If you see the Terraform state, you can see all the output variables. So this is the state. You have a Codecommit repository. It's named example repository. So it's the repository. Where's the repository? Codecommit repositories. It's named example repo, but this example repo, it is named example repo because in the Terraform code itself, it's represented as example repo, not the actual name, not the repository name. The repository name is tf cp santos, so you can see it here as well. So if you see in the Terraform state, you can see all the resources. You can see, let's check the S3 bucket. So you could see there's a TCP Santos S3 bucket over here. So okay, this is the role. Let's see some more S3. So dependencies, because I have also put depends on. So this depends on code build role. So you could see the dependencies before this thing is deleted. It makes sure this code pipeline role artifact bucket code pipeline bucket is deleted. So this is my Terraform state for now. So I'm going to close it and I'm going to do Terraform destroy, and we'll see the state file after we have destroyed the Terraform deployment.